Okay, so I'm going to start the class. Sorry, I was replying. You were asking for the topics, right? We were going to cover today. As I told you, right, via WhatsApp, we are going to see gerunds, okay, gerunds and special cases. And we are also going to take a look at the present perfect and the present perfect continuous. We've been practicing the present perfect, so this is going to be even reinforcing more the knowledge that we already got. All right? Then let's take a look at the topic. Gerunds. You know, a gerund in English is the word with ing, but not all words with ing are gerunds. Okay? Again, here we're not going to pay attention to the difference between one word with ing and others. We're just going to pay attention to what gerunds are. Okay, so a gerund is a verb with ing that is not a verb anymore. It is a noun. Okay, it acts, right? It acts in this case as a noun, right? And acting as a noun, it can be used in many ways that you cannot use, or that you cannot, yes, you cannot use verbs in the way we're going to be using gerunds. That's why we don't consider them verbs, but nouns. But let's show what I'm saying and what I want to say by that. It's impossible to use a verb as a subject, but we can use gerunds because they are nouns, right? We can use them as objects because, again, they are nouns. And after prepositions because we have objects of prepositions. So one more time, objects, but after some prepositions. Okay? Now I'm just waiting also for your reply. You will tell me if you know these topics or if you know more detail about them. Okay? Now, subject. This is a very common usage of the gerund form. Learning English, subject, is the verb, very easy. Okay? Learning English is very easy. So, learning has one object that is English, but that's the subject. It's like saying, right, it is very easy. So learning English is it. It is very easy. Running is my favorite activity. It is my favorite activity. And listening to music is what I love. It is what I love. Now, you don't say learn English is very easy. It's incorrect. Okay? Perhaps you know that. You don't say learn English is very easy. Don't use the base verb as the subject of an idea. It's not possible. If you say to learn English is very easy, it's correct, it is valid, but it's not as common, and it's not, again, something that you use a lot, at least not speaking. And in writing, just when it's academic paper or something very formal. If not, you don't say to learn, all right? I mean, it's not the best option. But learning English, that's the best option, and that's the most common way to, again, make a verb a noun and make it part of yours. Well, your sentence as subject, as object, after verbs, or object after prepositions. All right, so here you can say ideas like living, all right? No, living in the US, all right? Living in the US is, I don't know, right? Is, what can it be? You can say something positive, right? It's great, it's wonderful, right? It's fantastic, it's a great experience. Anything that describes your subject, that is living, all right, living in the US. Now you can say things like studying, all right? Studying English is very common nowadays. Okay, and that's another idea. Studying English is very common nowadays. Then having a car, right? Having a car is not as easy as everybody thinks, right? Having a car is not as easy as everybody thinks. So we are using any idea that we have in mind as the activities, as the subjects of our sentence, right? Again, very simple. Listening to music, running, learning, here, the three of them are subjects. That's the first way, okay? That's the first way to use it. Now, again, I'm going to be just taking a look at this in case you tell me something about it. Okay? Now, besides being a subject, we can also use it as an object. It means that it's going to be after the verb. It can be after prepositions, it can be after other words, but here, after verbs. Okay, so you have to use the gerund after enjoy because it's a rule. Okay, there are lists of verbs that tell you what verbs you have to use, right, with certain forms of verbs. For example, after enjoy, you always use gerund. But after want, right, after want, you use infinitive. I want to finish my homework. After discuss, you use gerund. Discuss going, discuss doing, discuss, I don't know. But after need, you use infinitive, right? Need to go, needs to stay, and so on and so forth. All right, so it is a rule, and you have list of verbs that are used, right, with gerunds or infinitives. So enjoy. I enjoyed living in France, right? The only possible way, this is in past, the activity is with ing. Discussed, right? We discussed going on holiday together. I just like waiting for buses. We finished preparing for the meeting. I don't mind coming early. Suggest, right? He suggested staying at the Grand Hotel. They recommended meeting earlier. He kept working although he felt ill. The last one, sorry, I didn't see it. It is she avoided talking to her boss. Right? So all of these are examples of verbs that have to be followed by gerunds. If you say we discussed to go, it's not possible over here. It has to be going. With finish, we have exceptions. We're not going to mention that yet, okay? But mine has to be gerund, suggest, gerund, recommend, gerund, keep, gerund, avoid, gerund. All right. So any tense, for example, the first example that we have, enjoy, it can be present, but it has to be something different, right? For example, I always enjoy watching movies. Okay, that's present, simple present. I always enjoy watching movies. You can use it in future. I will enjoy, right, going with you. I will enjoy going with you. All right, so in present, in past and future, right, you can use the gerunds. That object, we have more because we have special phrases that can be used with, well, that have to be followed also, not can be used, that have to be followed by gerunds. So for example, to be busy, he's busy reading the paper. Okay, he's busy reading the paper. Can't stand or can't bear, it's the same. Okay, I can't stand being looked at. I can't stand going to parties. I can't stand anything, right? Well, what could it be? I can't stand walking, right? At noon. So anything that you can't stand or can't bear, which is the same, is followed by a gerund. Okay, that example, I can't bear being looked at, the same as I can't stand being looked at. Then can't help means can avoid, right? The meaning of help here is not help. Can't help means avoid. So I can't avoid eating chocolate. I can't help eating chocolate is the same. Something that you cannot control, right? Mm, because in a certain way, all right, it's something that you want to do. You want to stop, but you cannot avoid doing it. All right, so you can say again, that one, in that example, if you are on a diet, but you, again, you go to a place and you see some chocolate, you eat it. Because you can say, I can help, I can avoid eating chocolate. Okay, it's so tempting for you. It's very tempting, and because of it, you are going to do it. Feel like the same, right? This is a phrase. It's not I feel like this, for example, right? I feel like tired. Okay, that's something else. But here, feel like, sorry, again, I'm pretty tired, all right? I got a very tiring day. I feel like is once again a phrase, and those words being together, they mean something different, right? It's like you want something. We feel like having a cup of tea. It means we want to have a cup of tea. I feel like dancing. It means in a certain way I want to dance, but in a certain way, not in the same way, because when you say you want, is that you desire that. When you say I feel like, is that you have all the elements, the emotional elements, right? In the way you feel, is like you really want to do that. Okay, but it's related to how you feel, the moods in which you are, right? You're happy, mm, you're happy, you're energetic. So being like that, you say, I feel like running. I feel like doing exercise. Because again, you are energetic, you're happy, so you feel like doing exercise. Spending one's time, the same. They spend their time reading, right? You spend your time doing something. So there's one missing. And this is related to worth, right? Worth. The book is worth reading. It means something that is a good idea to do, something that is good for you, something that is positive, something that will have good effects if you do it, good results if you do it. Right? That's why it's worth. You can say it's worth learning English because you, right, get a lot of opportunities, right? If you speak English, it's worth. Mm, I don't know, right? It can be. I'm thinking of something. It's worth watching that series, right? I'm talking about any series. Why? Because if you watch it, I know that you're going to like it. And the consequence is that you're going to feel happy, you're going to feel good. All right. That's why it's worth watching, right? That series. Because again, just series like one series. Because again, it's like something that is going to be beneficial. It can be for you in the sense of feeling better. Okay, and that's more than enough. So that's the expressions that we use, and we use gerund after those expressions. Now, this is a rule. I believe that we mentioned this rule. If we didn't, after all prepositions, all right, without any, let's say, exceptions, we use gerund. Okay, after all prepositions. Now, give me please just 30 seconds. Okay, sorry. Now, without, at, by, after, against, in, on, off, with, those, all of those are prepositions. And after a preposition, if you want to mention an activity, you don't say open, you don't say to open, right? You don't say without open your mouth, no. Without to open your mouth, no. The only option is opening, all right? So, can you sneeze without opening your mouth? She's good at painting. She avoided him by walking on the opposite side of the road. We arrived in Madrid after driving all night. My father decided against postponing his trip to Hungary. And there's no point in waiting. In spite of missing the train, we arrived on time. So again, if you are thinking of any expression, any sentence that will include the any preposition, okay, you have to use gerund. For example, think about or think of, right? You can say, hey, look, I was thinking about studying a new major. Okay, look, I was thinking about studying a new major. So thinking about, that's something else. That's not gerund. Okay, it's not gerund. That's the present continuous with the present participle. But again, if you analyze the way we are using the gerund over here, we don't use it in the continuous form, right? Because again, it's not a verb. It's just a form of a verb that works like or as a noun. So one more time. I was thinking about, I don't know, studying a new major. That's my example. Because of about, I use studying or learning or doing anything. Then you can say, I'm interested in learning Chinese. All right. Why do we say learning Chinese and not to learn Chinese or learn Chinese? Because we have a preposition in. I'm interested in learning Chinese. You don't say I'm interested in learning Chinese or to learn Chinese. No, learning. All right. So again, just one more idea. What could it be? Similar to this one, I believe. I don't want to use that one. Okay, this similar to after, it can be before, right? So you can say, please call me before, right, starting with your class. Please call me before starting with your class. So before, after I want to set an action or an activity, I set it with gerunds, right, before doing so. Please call me before studying with your class. Please call me before watching that movie. Please call me after doing this action, and so on and so forth, right? So we have a lot of examples, a lot of things that are important over there. Now here, gerunds and infinitives. I mean, it says, sometimes using a gerund or an infinitive after certain verbs can change the meaning of the idea. Now, these are the exceptions I was talking about. These are the special cases. Okay? Now, look, it means that after some verbs, you can use the two of them. You can use infinitive or you can use gerund. For example, I remember to do or I remember doing. Both are correct in this case. Right? Not all verbs allow that. That's why we call them special cases. Okay, these are exceptions. So it's not like you can do this with all verbs. No. That's why here we have a list of verbs. Remember is one. Remember with gerunds. This is when you remember something that has happened in the past. Okay? Remember plus a word in gerund, all right, refers to something that you did in the past. For example, I can say, hey, I remember closing the door. I don't know what happened. It means you remember that you did that action in the past. You remember that you closed the door, but you don't know why it is open. All right, it's open, so you are wondering what happened. I remember closing that door. or locking that door. Okay, that's with gerund. But with infinitive, it's different. Look, this is when you think of something that you need to do, right? But you didn't do it yet. I remembered to buy milk. You don't remember that you bought milk in the past. No, you remembered at that time that you had to buy milk. Okay, so you're remembering something that you have to do. So once again, I remembered to buy milk equals I was walking home. Sorry. And the idea that I needed milk came into my head. So I bought it, right? She remembered to send a card to her grandmother. All right. So she remembered not something that happened, but something that she had to do in that past. In that case, sent a letter, a card, in this case, a card to her grandmother. All right. So gerund is for something that already happened. Infinitive is for something that didn't happen at that time of reference. Okay. And one more time, you can say, look, this is going to be the example, right? Okay, so now I'm with my cell phone, I call someone, and that's it, right? And tomorrow I can say, I remembered, I remember calling you. Don't you remember? We talked about this, and that, and the person says, okay, yes, I remember. You called me. Okay, so I remember calling you is something that we did. But if I say, what did I have to do? What? I think I forgot, right? And some minutes afterwards, I say, oh, yes, I have to call you, right? I have to call you. So you can say, even in past or present, doesn't matter. You can say, yes, I was very distracted, but I don't know how I remembered to call you. Okay, so you remembered at that time that you had to call that person, but you haven't called that person yet. All right, so again, that's the difference between a gerund and infinitive for remember. For forget is the same, it's just the opposite, right? So you change the logic, but it's the same. This is the opposite of remember plus gerunds. It's when you forget about a memory. Okay, so I forgot reading about it. It means that you read about it, but after that action, you forgot reading about it. All right, so you say, for example, okay, like in my case, right? For my classes, one of my classes, they said, "Hey, but we told you that there's specific dates, and we told you." But I say like, I remember, right? So I can say I forgot, right? I forgot something in this case, all right? I forgot listening to that information. I mean, I don't remember that. Or to forget something that you had to do, right? I forgot, I forgot bringing my bag with me. I didn't do it. I forgot doing it. Or something that you've done, sorry. Yes, something that you've done. I forgot reading about it. Yes, I'm good. I forgot bringing or carrying my bag with me. I forgot, I forgot watching that movie. Okay, I watched that movie, but I don't remember that I watched it. So if that's the case again, gerunds. An infinitive, the same. When you forget to do something else, this is kind of interesting. It says, this is the opposite of remember to infinitive. It's when you want to do something, but you forget about it. Okay, you had to do something, you didn't do it yet, and you forgot that. Okay, so I forgot to call my mother. Okay, at that time, you forgot to do one action in the present or future. So I forgot to start with my thesis. She forgot to, I don't know, she forgot to lock her door. So in those two cases, it didn't happen. And again, it's because of this logic. Forget. Try. This is interesting. I'm going to try to finish this also and use the last 10 minutes. I'm going to use the whole class because I use the whole class if we are working together. Now I'm just working on myself, so I'm going to finish and that's it. But we have just let's say the topic, but I'm not going to finish perhaps the topic about the present perfect, simple and continuous. So we are going to continue that topic on Tuesday next week, all right, on Tuesday. So try plus challenge. This is when you do something as an experiment. The thing you do is not difficult, but you want to see if doing it will have the result that you want. This is interesting. Okay, so it says, I wanted to stop smoking, so I tried using nicotine patches. Okay, so you use gerund with try if you are using one method to attempt something in particular, right? So you don't know how to fix your car. Okay, so you say, I don't know what happened. I tried looking at the engine, right, checking it every detail. I tried, I don't know, opening this and filling it with this liquid and so on and so forth. So you tried many things. So if you try activities, I tried doing this, I tried studying this day, I tried doing this and so on and so forth. That's when you use that as a tool to achieve something, right? But two, I mean the infinitive form, try plus infinitive, it says, this is when the thing you do itself is difficult. In the present tense or future tense, this means that you might not succeed in doing it. In the past tense, it means that you made an effort to do the thing, but you did not succeed. So it's when you want to try to do something difficult. For example, I tried to, what could it be? Okay, I tried to finish my essay in 1 hour, but it was not possible, right? It's difficult, it's too difficult to do that. I tried to go to the party, but I couldn't because, I don't know, something happened, but you tried to do it. And in this case, it's difficult because of a certain situation or just any situation in which you tried to do something, but it was not something which you succeed. All right? So the difference between saying I tried, and let me think of something we can use in both cases. Okay, so I tried, yes, going by myself. I tried going by myself. It means I did it. It's one of the ways, one of the things that I tried. I tried going by myself. But if I say I tried to go by myself, I say, look, I really tried, I attempted to go by myself, but I don't know what happened. I couldn't do it. I couldn't go by myself. All right, so something difficult. And this is the last one. Stop. Stop lecturing. When we stop doing something, it means that the verb in the gerund is the thing that we stop. Okay, the thing in gerund is the thing that you stop. Or stop at that one. For example, I stopped working when I was experiencing, when I was expecting a baby. So because you're expecting a baby, of course, you stop working. It's when you stop the activity or the activity that is in between the parentheses. All right, in this case, no, sorry, I'm reading that one. You're in the chat. All right. If you say, I stopped working, what activity is stopped? Working. I'm saying that because in the infinitive it's different. I stopped reading. You don't read anymore. I stopped dancing. You don't dance anymore. I stopped practicing at nights. You don't practice at nights anymore. But if you use infinitive, is that you stop something else to do the action in infinitive. For example, I stopped to eat lunch. It means that you stopped something else that you're not mentioning to do the action of eating lunch. Okay, so it's pretty different. So if you say again, I stopped, yes, I stopped smoking, right, means you don't smoke anymore. But I stopped to smoke means that you stopped doing something and now you're going to smoke. All right, so it's very different. It's kind of not the opposite, but it's very different. And that's it. That's gerunds. Now again, in this time that I got left, we are going to see the present perfect. Okay, so we already covered this. This is going to be very fast. Present perfect is past. It's a past activity that is, of course, started in the past, but perhaps there's a possibility that it continued into the future, into the present, and even into the future. All right? It's indefinite because we don't say when. We don't say when. We cannot say when. If you say, I've gone to the party yesterday, incorrect, right? You should say, I went to the party yesterday, or you should say, I've gone to the party, and period. Don't say when. So let's remember one more time, because we practice with the present perfect. So first, let's review the simple past, it says. Use the simple past to talk about definite events in the past. Okay, this is not the present perfect, it's the simple past. She traveled, right? Underlines, traveled, took, watched, when. Those are verbs in simple past. She traveled to Santa Cruz yesterday. Do we know when? Yes, yesterday. They took their tests or their test last weekend. Past, simple past. I watched that movie last month. Do we know when? Yes, last month. Peter and I went to the concert 2 days ago. Do we know when? Yes, 2 days ago. You said you need the verb in the simple past, and the verb in the simple past can be regular or irregular, right? The regular ones just need D or ED, right? Watch, watched, like, liked, travel, traveled, fixed or fix, fixed. Then you have irregular verbs that change or sometimes don't change, but they are regular because they don't follow the ED rule. Okay, that's why. Write, wrote, and even the past participle, this is what you need for the present perfect, written. Okay, written. Eat, ate, eaten. Drink, drank, drunk. Right? So, the formula, you know the formula, is in affirmative just the verb plus the verb in simple past plus content, right? For example, I took that test 3 days ago. Affirmative. In negative, you just use need. Oh, sorry. Something happened to my. All right. Yeah, you just need didn't, and then you need the base form of the verb, not the verb conjugated, right? For example, I didn't go. I didn't read. I didn't travel, right? The verb is in the base form. It's not in the past. The auxiliary did is in the past. I didn't go, I didn't travel, I didn't finish, I didn't study, I didn't drink, I didn't eat, I didn't repair, I didn't anything. Then in questions, the same base verb we did at the beginning. Did you finish your homework? Did you watch the class? Did you, I don't know, right? Any idea? And then you have be with the verb to be. All right. I mean, be in the simple past. I was at the park. I was very sick. Right. I was status. Okay. I was single. Then emotions. I was happy. Then location. We already said I was at the theater. Let's say another one. Then professions. I was a student. I was a doctor at that time. But I'm still a doctor, but I don't work as a doctor anymore. So you can play with the words, with the possibilities. That's the usage of simple past. And you use that with common expressions that are definite time expressions. Because you can locate that in a calendar and they are definite. Last month, I went to that, I don't know, workshop. Last week, I finished my activities. Last vacation, I started with a new project. There you have it go. 2 days ago, I started with this. 3 years ago, I traveled to this country, to this city. In 1990, I was born. In 1990, this album was published, so on and so forth. Right? These are definite time expressions. Present perfect is indefinite. You don't say when. They have watched that movie before. We don't know when. We have traveled to Santa Cruz 3 times. We don't know when. Peter has studied for the test for many days. We don't know when. She has eaten pasta many times. We don't know. All right. So the idea behind it, again, it's sorry, it's just you're ringing the bell. It's weird. Okay, sorry. Um, sorry, I lost track. Here, indefinite. All right, we don't know when. Now the conjugation important. I, they, we, you, right? First person, plural. All of those with have. That's important. I have, we have, you have, they have. But he, she, it goes with has because they are third person. He has, she has, it has, right? Simple. Then you need the verb in the past participle. So I have gone, she has eaten, you have given, they have written or written, it has started, and you continue with the examples. Always the same formula. And here you have the formula, right? The first one, I have given a gift before. Negative, I haven't given. Here, in the simple past, you don't use the conjugation with the main verb in negative and questions, right? You don't use the conjugation in simple past. But in the past participle, you use the conjugation in the past. Sorry, in the present perfect, you use the conjugation of the past participle in affirmative, negative, and questions. Okay, all of them. So I have given a gift before. She has given a gift before. Now, negative. I haven't given a gift before or yet. She hasn't given a gift before or yet. Question words. First, without question words, actually. Yes, no questions. Have you given a gift before? The answer, yes, I have. No, I haven't. Okay, we're missing a comma there. Now, WH words. What, when, why, even how. What have you given before? A gift. I have given a gift before. All right, so again, simple. These are expressions that you can use with the past, with the present perfect, sorry. Before, because it's indefinite, right? I've been there before. once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, etc. We don't know when it finished. We don't know also when it happened. Um, I've traveled to Buenos Aires once, right? I've danced, right? Or I went, no, sorry, I'm using the simple past there. I've gone, right, dancing 5 times. All right. And again, I'm not saying when. No time expressions is like just saying, I've done it. Okay. I've done it. No time expressions. Or since just one of them, preposition, sorry. It's a preposition, of course, but it works as a period of time. So I've worked there for 5 years. I've studied for 10 hours straight in that period of time. Already in affirmative, I've already completed the assignment. Yet negative, I haven't completed the assignment yet. Just something recent. I've just finished my homework. And ever for a question that means anytime in your entire life. Have you ever drank? Okay, have you ever drank? I don't know. Mm, I'm going to say anything, all right? Have you ever drank a yes, tea, hot, cold tea? Okay, cold tea. Just that I don't have anything in mind now. Have you ever traveled by yourself? Have you ever been in a big problem? Have you ever, I don't know, right, bought a car? Anything in your entire life. Have you ever done that? And the present perfect continuous is been with the verb with ing. Look what we got. All right, and with this again we finish. But don't worry, because we're going to also take a look at this lesson on Tuesday next week. Subject plus the auxiliary have plus the verb to be in the past participle plus the main verb in ings. This is easier, okay, easier than the simple form of the present perfect. Because here you don't have to know the verb, sorry, in the past participle. Easy. I have been studying since Monday. She has not been working for 2 weeks. Have they been paying attention in class? What have you been doing these days? So, the main difference between the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous is the same as the simple present and the present continuous. One of them is a definite action. The other one is a continuous action that is in progress, right? It's an ongoing action. So you use this when you want to put emphasis on the idea that something has been happening. It started in the past and it finished perhaps close to the present, or perhaps it will continue even into the future. That's what we said. This one is used again when we want to give that idea that something started in the past and it's still happening in the present, most of the cases. So, going to the next part. Sorry. Okay, now, these are the formulas. We've been waiting, or I've been waiting for hours. I haven't been waiting for you. Right? Affirmative, negative. Always been, have been doing, have been studying, have been playing, because this is the continuous form. And all continuous right forms in English use the verb to be. I am going, be is am. I was going, be is was. I've been going, be is been, right? So I haven't been waiting for you, negative. Question words, or just first yes no question. Have you been waiting for hours? Have you been, always the verb to be, waiting for hours? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. What have you been doing all this time? That's an information question, right? Wider. So I have been walking on the streets all this time, it says. So I've been studying for a very important test. I've been going to work more frequently. She's been doing something specific, right? That it's in a continuous form. A good question is how long for the present perfect continuous. How long have you been training? I mean, it means how much time in a certain way. But you ask how long? I've been training for 3 months. How long have you been living in the US? I've been living in the US for 5 years. How long have you studied that career or that major? I've studied that major for, I don't know, right? 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and so on and so forth. So once again, the main difference, the main thing that you do to decide if you use the present simple, I've worked, okay, I have worked, or the present perfect continuous, I've been working, is the emphasis that you want to give. One is not definite or punctual as the simple past, but it's more focused on just one activity that happened, okay, and that's it. I've worked. That's an example. But if you say been plus the word with ing, it means again, right, a ongoing action. I've been studying a lot. That's what I started doing in the past, and it continued into the present. And nowadays, these days, right, I'm still doing that action. So that's it again. I spent more time than the one I had planned. It's because I had to cover this. With this, I finished the presentation, but once again, we're going to practice present perfect and present perfect continuous. All right, now again, today in particular, I'm very, very tired. I need to rest, all right, because I haven't been sleeping. Or you can use this one, right? I haven't been sleeping, or I haven't slept these days, or I haven't been sleeping well these days. All right, that's the logic. That's it. Now, please, we're going to finish the class. If you get to have any questions, you can let me know. If you are again watching the class, you can pause it. The good thing about watching the class that you can pause it at any time. You can go back right and review some details. But once again, if it's not clear, let me know. All right? Have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your holiday on Monday. And I'll see you on well, actually, we're going to have a holiday, right, in the region because, right, executive English is given that day off due to the Workers' Day. So we're following that one. We don't have classes. I'll see you on Tuesday. All right? Bye bye.